What happened?
They found a 16-day-old embryo in an incubator on that back bench.
16 days is very, very fucking illegal and...
What?
Very clever.
Should I take you down with me?
Just give me the weekend.
Because my career's in the fucking trash.
Oh, we could do amazing things together, Capgrass. Did you see the embryo?
It was beautiful.
In 1988, David Cronenberg, known as the master of body horror, directed a psychological thriller called Dead Ringers, based on a true story. The film tells the tragic story of a pair of twisted and codependent twin gynecologists. Now, Alice Birch, a writer who worked on the second season of Succession, has boldly adapted this classic horror film. The main characters still have their original names, Beverly Mantle and Elliot Mantle, but have been changed to female characters, with Rachel Weisz, an Oscar-winning actress, taking on the role. Beverly and Elliot are two sides of the same coin, but Weisz's superb acting never confuses us about which side we are seeing. Beverly usually wears her shoulder-length hair tied up in a determined bun, while Elliot's hair is loose and kept in fluffy waves. At first, we may need this external feature to tell them apart, but soon we are able to distinguish them even when they switch identities. Both of them are excellent gynecologists and fertility specialists, initially working in the same hospital. Later, they quit their job due to their dissatisfaction with the medical system's mechanistic attitude towards female pregnancy, and dreamed of opening a one-stop childbirth center that would provide fertility treatments, postpartum care, and cutting-edge research related to women's sexual health, forever changing the way women give birth, from medical services to scientific experiments. Beverly is the younger sister, quieter, introverted, and easily shy. She is humble, hardworking, principled, and full of compassion for her patients, and it is she who proposes to improve the status quo of women's pregnancy and establish a childbirth center. Although Elliot is the older sister and calls Beverly baby sister, she is more like a child herself and easily gets impatient. She is both a genius in the laboratory and a rule breaker in society. She is sexually indulgent, abuses drugs, behaves recklessly, and speaks rudely, exuding a delicious wildness. Elliot takes it upon herself to take care of Beverly and is willing to do anything to satisfy her, even swapping identities with her to help her pursue her crush on actress Genevieve. But to her surprise, Beverly and Genevieve really fall in love, and their love deepens. This triggers an unprecedented jealousy in Elliot. Before this, Beverly had tried to conceive 3 times, all under Elliot's leadership. Although they all failed, Elliot always considered it their closest bond. So when Beverly and her girlfriend plan to have a baby through in vitro fertilization, Elliot feels abandoned and betrayed. Beverly's sudden romance breaks the seesaw of the twin sisters' incestuous relationship. Jealousy evolves into anger, extending from their shared apartment to the childbirth center, and even to the dinner table with investors.
Everything in my life has been for you.
I have been dedicating my life to this cause, to you, the cause.
What was the point if you're going to fucking abandon me?
I'm not abandoning you.
I feel somewhat abandoned!
Turning the twin protagonists from male to female is a remarkable feat. This creative adaptation challenges, and even criticizes, the original work. In the original, the Cronenbergian strangeness of the two brothers is mainly derived from the mix of pornography and clinical medicine, that inevitably tends toward the manipulation and management of the female body, through a masculinized perspective of paternalism. The brothers deceive potential dates by secretly swapping identities, which today is intolerable sexual assault. However, such narration and expression were considered appropriate artistic interpretation back then. Jeremy Irons plays Beverly, who goes mad and crudely performs a gynecological examination on a woman using his early self-made gynoscope. This behavior more or less reflects a kind of misogyny, a transformational form of patriarchal domination. Elliot hires prostitutes and brings in a pair of female twins, further highlighting the value of degrading women as normal. Therefore, we can understand that the original work only stays on the peculiar indivisibility of this pair of twin problems. Alice Birch assembled an all-female screenwriting team, and 2 of the 3 executive directors were also women. They planned a manifesto that breaks away from the original male gaze perspective in the opening of the first episode, setting the tone for the entire series.
Hey, you guys have exactly the same face. You guys ever...
We have,
You know,
No.
2 of you plus a guy.
Doing...
Each other?
Yes, please, let's go. We love fucking each other. I love putting my tongue on her tongue and inside her cunt. I absolutely love doing that. And for a man's pleasure, for your pleasure, please. That sounds ideal. Perfect.
Birch's version of the Mantle twins inherits the separation anxiety between twins. But it is full of more passion and ambition, and strips itself from the shell of sexual psychological horror, loudly discussing the themes that only women could treat more seriously. Rebecca, played by Jennifer Ely, is a billionaire who invests in the birthing center. She and her partner Susan are another charming couple. Rebecca comes from a family that has accumulated wealth by selling opioid drugs, which is obviously a reference to the infamous Skakeler family in the real world. Last year's miniseries, Dopesick, and the Oscar-nominated documentary, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, both exposed the dirty history of this family that escaped legal sanctions. Rebecca has a cold smile and a chilling fortitude. She is a calm and strong person, releasing a moderate amount of evil, and is the incarnation of the capitalist crusher. With a raised eyebrow smile or a few ruthless monologues, she can tear the person in front of her into pieces.
I'll be honest, I didn't find your proposal particularly exciting when I read it. I like science. I like medicine. That is my fucking jam. That was my dad's shit. That's my community. That is where I put my money. You guys want someone who really gives a fuck about this too.
I give a fuck.
But you give a fuck about dolphins and rehabilitating pedophiles and ice cream. You're asking for $16 million. That's fuck all to me, but I was expecting more than sad sack expressions and silence.
Susan comes from a family of doctors. She is a professional philanthropist with sweet southern charm, injecting much-needed fresh air of optimism and naivety into this extremely oppressive drama. She warmly invites the twin sisters to her father's villa, which is a modern transformation of the former slave plantation. Rebecca and Susan have used other people's bodies as surrogates to give birth to many children. This not only brings to mind Elon Musk, but also inevitably evokes the history of enslaving Black people. Michael McKean's character, Susan's father, tells the story of father of American gynecology James Marion Sims, who was proven by modern historians to have experimented on enslaved Black women in his research.
It hadn't seemed to be important enough to anybody. Women's health? It was like beginning from nothing. A woman's body, completely uncharted territory, undiscovered land, new borders, new edges, new fields. It is wonderful to go where no man has gone before.
So we see that Rebecca and Susan, this combination of ice and fire, is a fusion of human barbaric history and the absurd reality of today, a rainbow nightmare concocted by scientific supremacists and greedy capitalists. Their commonality is that they both enjoy the sense of achievement that comes from sacrificing others to achieve their so-called noble goals. While Beverly and Elliot's original intention for building a birthing center was to rescue women from the obligation and pain of childbirth, their funders were not looking at mothers and babies from a human perspective, but rather were interested in the potential for commodifying the birthing process through this revolution. Thus, the money provided is more like a Faustian transaction.
From our research, from what we looked into, the money is in infertility, right? At the center, are you going to help people get pregnant in the first place?
Absolutely.
Maybe. But that feels like such an under-researched area, no?
alleviates the pain of menopause. It's always one of our bestsellers.
I'm not sure that's how we build our company on what's going to sell the most, particularly when we're talking about drugging people.
You don't want to make money, Beverly?
I want the center to be successful, which means profitable, yes.
That sounds a little vegetarian.
It's not what you know, HRT, Supermax, pad with wings. Like, someone's already doing it, everyone else is on it, you're behind.
No, why don't we change the way that people perceive it? Why don't we lean into it as a necessary, natural, radical version of womanhood?
How exactly does that vomit-inducing idealism translate into dollars, Beverly?
When Beverly realizes this, she is plagued by moral anxiety, while Elliot is eager to satisfy Rebecca's profit-driven curiosity. Because Elliot's passion for reproductive medicine lacks many human elements. Her interest is not in helping mothers give birth, but in creating babies in the lab with Frankenstein-esque genetics, breaking free from the supervision of the Food and Drug Administration and the shackles of secular morality, and conducting unrestricted experiments on human embryos to lay the foundation for miracles. This quickly causes the emotional rift between the two sisters to spread to their career differences. The double split gave birth to a heart-wrenching tug-of-war. I don't want to spoil the final outcome of this drama, but I can reveal that it has made some very interesting changes to the ending of the original work, maintaining the momentum established from the beginning of the film, and making it feel like a roller coaster ride driven by excess female hormones from the first second to the last frame. Sometimes it feels like a surreal horror film. I especially appreciate the game played between the camera and the mirrors in the movie. The mirrors not only double the frequency of the shockwaves between the two weirdos, but also, like the pool in front of Narcissus, make the protagonist standing in front of it sink into contemplation. Is the other self in the mirror a twin sister or another self in the illusion? Are the twin sisters independent others or another self in the illusion? This mirrors the fundamental question of the drama. Does being a twin mean doubling or just taking half? Did the Mantle sisters achieve so much through their doubled intelligence? Or do they have to parasitize on each other, otherwise they are doomed to fail if they go it alone?
Where's your sister?
Not here.
No. So you killed her.
So I could fucking kill her.
She is MIA, fuckheads! Every experience, every high is half a fucking high. Every time you look at her, air gets punched out of your lungs, man. Depleting, junky, parasitic, slow death, man, having a twin.
Oh, it's double, it's double. It's everything she gets, I get.
Bullshit. It's half. It's like constant multiple division. You're barely fucking here.
No, I'm here. She's here.
She's not here. She's there. And you're barely fucking here because of it. It's a tragedy.
The whole story vacillates between dualism and monism, firmly submerging the narrative in the bodies of these two women. You may need some courage to watch this drama, not because of the somewhat bloody scenes of pregnant women giving birth, but because you need the courage to accept the truth of the questions you thought you knew the answers to before.
I have my sister. We don't need anyone else. We never have. We just got unhealthy. The drinking, the drugs. Yeah, it wasn't fun.
That's what you wanted?
Yes.
That's what you always wanted?
Yes.